I think just in general, when we think about the future of education, it is so important that, everyone understand that we all have a role, whether you work at the school district, whether you're a parent, a student, a community member. The ecosystem of education is not like a bubble on its own, right? It trickles down to every fiber of society. And so if we're going to transform education, we have to understand that academic expectations and academic support alone will not get the job done. So really focusing on expanding and increasing all those non-instructional supports so that our students can truly thrive, not just during their time, with us in a school system, but as they go post their high school journey, that they are truly whole citizens ready to contribute and engage with the community that waits out there.
You're listening to the smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This is our District Talk segment where we interview district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday shine online. Now, let's get back to the interview.
Hello, I'm Candice Castillo, Executive Officer of Student Support Services at the Houston Independent School District, servicing 194,000 students in over 276 campuses.
Welcome to the podcast. My first question for you here today is, what is HISD's approach to comprehensive student support services, and how do these services fit within the larger goals and mission of the district?
In HISD, we aim and strive to be able to support the whole student by not only looking at providing high quality academic support, but also any additional non-instructional support that can help them be ready to receive that academic instruction. We know that for our students, it's not just looking at their potential in their academic journey, but also ensuring that they are ready, they have their basic needs met so that they, again, can be ready for that academic instruction piece.
Absolutely. My next question is, let's dive into a little bit of a different topic. Can you describe some of the key challenges that students in your district face, and how do your comprehensive support services address these challenges? Feel free to hit on whether it's mental health, feel free to hit on whether it's social media. We want to hear what's going on in your district these days.
We have a variety of challenges in our district that I know is not just common to us, that we see this across the country, but especially post-pandemic, right? A lot of our students are dealing with the effects of grief still. So there's a lot of that mental support and well-being needed. A lot of them experience loss of income because maybe one or both of their parents lost their jobs. So ensuring that basic needs like, having food insecurity addressed, having access to physical and mental health services, ensuring that they don't have to choose between receiving academic instructions and maybe be a contributor to the home economics. It's another one. So we want to ensure that, as we look to those different challenges, that we are also working with our students and our school communities to ensure we have resources and services that can address those.
So you just mentioned we have to work with the local community, which is terrific. So my next question in line with working with that local community is, how do you collaborate with those community partners that you mentioned and other stakeholders to provide a comprehensive range of services to students and their families?
I like to think that in HISD, we are very fortunate to have a wealth of resources and services. And in part, it's due to the great partnerships that we have. We have a lot of different partnerships with, the main local corporations, government agencies. So anything that ranges from, let's say, support from mentoring all the way to addressing basic needs like food insecurity. For example, we have an amazing partnership with our local food bank that allow us to offer food distribution in a number of schools in a weekly basis In addition, most recently, we launched our seventh brick and mortar market within a campus where families can come and access groceries, anything from canned and non-perishable goods to even proteins and fresh products at no cost to them. That allows our students to ensure that our students don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from, and ensure that, at home, they are also taken care of. In addition, a lot of the corporations that we partner with allow us to have um, different type of supports that can provide students with a specific needs, a specific mentoring, and a specific access. We also have, I would like to say that our medical center, which is, well known, have also provided us with different programming and partnerships so that our families can have access to immediate medical needs. For example, when it's around school time, we partner with a lot of different agencies to offer free immunization for our students. And as our seniors start going to college, they also can access that. So again, I feel like we do have a wealth of different services that can address those non-instructional needs of our students.
Yeah, doctor, you have excellent timing because the next question I have for you is about telehealth. You have a program. I want to better understand this and let our listeners understand it. So, regarding telehealth, can you tell us more about how this program in your district has evolved over time? And I want to know, what is it? So, describe it for all of our listeners. And also, how is it currently serving students and families in your district?
Yes, thank you. So, with our telehealth initiative, we have, let's say, a twofold approach to this, right? So, we have, again, based on the partnerships that we have local agencies that are able to offer that to a very specific population. We have like our special needs department that does a lot of like speech therapy using telehealth services, right? Since the pandemic, we did see an increase on a lot of both physical and mental health need. So we were trying to expand that in a way that doesn't require the student to just be at the campus to receive those services. So that afforded us to work with a provider that offers both access to physical and mental health providers. The service is at no direct cost to the families. So if a person has insurance and then, they go to a physical health or a mental health session and the insurance doesn't cover it, that bill is not going to go to the family. The other great piece about having telehealth access is that the student can do it from home or can do it from school. So if a student wakes up today and they're, might be experiencing some sort of like stomachache symptoms, rather than missing the whole day of class, the parent can quickly jump into the portal, get an expert, opinion of what could it be, and then take next steps from there. And so in order for our students to benefit from this program, the family will have to provide a one-time consent that allows them that in case of, the student needs it, they can be referred to these telehealth services. So if they are in a school, they get sent to the nurse office, for example. The nurse can do an initial assessment, but if there's something a little bit more in depth that needs to be looked at, they can then talk to again, the licensed professional over an iPad. An iPad has a camera, so they are seeing and interacting in real time. And then based on that, there will be like recommendations, right? Just as if you were on a doctor visit, the parent gets the copy of that. Parents are welcome to join the session if they choose to as well. And after that, it gets a summary of the visit to the parent, just again, as if they will do in a regular doctor visit. I think the great benefit of this is that rather than, with a regular doctor visit, you have to many times, make the appointment. Sometimes, you might be lucky enough to get the appointment for the same day. You have to go spend time in there. And then it might have been something minor that could have been treated. However, the student at that point has lost a couple of hours, if not the whole day of instruction. With this, you can ensure that you are getting a professional opinion of what needs to be done. And in occasions that it actually requires to have a physical follow-up, they will give that recommendation in next steps. But in most cases, if it's a minor thing that can be treated with some over-the-counter medication, then we are allowing the student to continue, their instruction without interruption or minimal interruption, so they are not missing out on their instructional time. And that is really key because we want to ensure that the students are not missing class unless they really have to, and this afford them that opportunity.
It makes total sense. It's great. It's a old school solution with a new twist on it that's it's super great. But here's my next question. What has been the feedback from parents and students about the telehealth program?
We have, we launched this at the end of February, but we have already received amazing feedback about the convenience, about being fast, saving them time. Sometimes as a parent, right, you just don't know. And sometimes you're just like, okay, did I send them? Did I not send them? So having someone that they can connect with fairly quickly and make the best decision on their students' health for them is a game changer. So we have been receiving a lot of great feedback, and we're looking forward to see how we end the year. And also from the perspective of being able to service the students with our staff, like our nurses and our counselors, also, see this as a great tool that they can utilize. So if at any point they're not able to assist the student because, the student is experiencing symptoms before or after class, they still have a tool that, the student can benefit from and that they in tandem can follow up with to ensure that the student has that continuity of care.
Excellent. Now let's go on to one of the other programs that your school district has. It's called the Wraparound Program. I'd like for you, please, to explain to us what is this program, also what the inspiration was, and then how does it serve the community, students and parents, and what does that mean for them? So it's really a trifecta of questions in one. But give us that. What is it? The one sentence, if you could, so that we all understand. And then the inspiration that if you will, or the problem that and then tell us about kind of how it works, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so for us, our wraparound services program was designed to ensure that we can have that comprehensive type of resources or services that can provide our students that non-instructional support so that they can have, their best potential to achieve in their academic journey. And so we look at it as from the standpoint of understanding that, again, in order for our students to achieve their maximal potential, high quality instruction and high quality academic, high quality teaching in the landscape that we currently live, it's not enough, right? We need that non-instructional support. We need to ensure that the well-being of our students is being met in order for them to really, really be ready to receive that instruction. So the inspiration was truly at that. I mean, looking at our students in our district, um, basically 80% of our student population qualifies for free or reduced lunch. So we know that there is a lot of non-instructional needs that these students are going through. And we want to make sure that if we have expectations in the academic realm, that they are ready to be able to meet that challenge. And that can only be done when we match that high academics expectation with ensuring that they have access to resources and services that can help them in all the other areas.
Can you share one or two practical success stories of what has happened with this program? Maybe you have a student that it helped to nurture or a family that it helped to bring up to speed. Do you have any kind of success stories there?
Oh my goodness, we have so many, but I know that, one most recently was about a family that moved from another state where, they were basically starting from scratch here. And it was a single parent, had three kids in a campus. They needed assistance with, uniforms and, how to start basically a new life here. So our wraparound specialists, which we have at least one in every of our 276 campuses, and we refer to them as the Great Connectors, not only connected them to making sure like they didn't have to worry anything about enrolling at school because we were able to provide them with uniforms, toiletries, set them up with our Houston Food Bank partnership, set them off with immunizations that they needed. So they truly got like the whole scope of services. And we know that this happens on the daily, but when you receive an email from the parents saying how thankful they are that there was a person on campus that was able to connect them to so many things and that remove a barrier for them of having to worry about, how they're going to get their kids to focus on school, to us, that's when we know like what we're doing is what we need to do in order for students to be successful. We also had a family locally that had lost everything in a house fire. And our wraparound specialists, mobilized the community and not only allowed them to, basically have everything that they would need to restart in a new place, but identifying and contributing to the need, but also like continue checking in with the student and the family to see what else they needed, right? We wanted to ensure that even though that was a tragic, incident that happened to that family, that we can still support the student in their learning. And so again, we see these emails about how thankful the family are for having access to these type of resources. And a lot of these resources are available on our campuses. So we have what we call resource rooms, and we have different resources there that can immediately meet a need. But when we don't have it readily available, then that's where our partnerships becomes very valuable because they are part of our network and we can connect the families and the students to what they need. So those are just two quick examples, but we have so many, and we know that this work is making an impact and a difference in the life of our students. So their academic journey is not interrupted when life happens.
Absolutely. And we at Smart Social are a huge fan of what you're doing because it's making an impact on the student level. That's what matters, right? You're a big district. There's a
Exactly.
lot of bureaucracy in every district, and it's wonderful when it serves the student, isn't that all that matters? We love that. So, question about the future, real quick. Looking towards the future, we talked about two programs, the telehealth, the wraparound program. What does the future look like? How is it? What ideas do you have? What is the path forward? Do you have extra features for the students? Do you see something in the future that we're going to need to work around to help the students? Can you paint a picture of what the next couple years looks like for both of those programs?
Yeah, I mean, I think just in general, when we think about the future of education, it is so important that, everyone understand that we all have a role, whether you work at the school district, whether you're a parent, a student, a community member. The ecosystem of education is not like a bubble on its own, right? It trickles down to every fiber of society. And so if we're going to transform education, we have to understand that academic expectations and academic support alone will not get the job done. So really focusing on expanding and increasing all those non-instructional supports so that our students can truly thrive, not just during their time, with us in a school system, but as they go post their high school journey, that they are truly whole citizens ready to contribute and engage with the community that waits out there. So I think that to achieve that, we have to continue working together with community partners, with local and state agencies, with corporations to create a more sort of like wholesome ecosystem where our students' needs are constantly evaluated. We know that, post-pandemic, right, we have very specific needs, and those are going to continue lingering. It's not like if the pandemic is over, those needs are over. So how do we create sustainability to make sure that our schools can continue offering this kind of services? Because we need our kids to be in school, focusing on preparing themselves in that academic level to continue with their life choices. But we have to be able to work together as a society to all of us support students. And so I think for the future, in order for our school districts to be successful, these have to be a part of it. It cannot be just an option. It has to be an intentional part of what we offer as a school district.
Absolutely. You've inspired me. A lot of our solutions at Smart Social are like telehealth for social media safety. and we integrate Zoom and all these other solutions to get to parents in multiple languages to meet them where they're at. And what you're doing on your telehealth program is pretty amazing. Hey, I want to thank you, Doctor, for your time here today. Thank you to all of our viewers that are watching us. You can learn more about the doctor and the amazing school district behind everything that she's doing here, helping hundreds of thousands of students. You can go to smartsocial.com, or you can search for Smart Social Podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again, Doctor. We'll see everyone on the next episode. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to our smartsocial.com podcast. I'm your host, Josh Ochs. This was our District Talk segment where we interview school district leaders to learn how they're keeping students safe on social media so those students can someday launch into their future by shining online. This episode was brought to you by our smartsocial.com VIP program. It's called the Very Informed Parent Program, which helps you engage your students with teen-led video lessons. Stay one step ahead with our premium parent newsletter and discover hidden features on trending apps on teens' phones and our 54 plus live parent and student friendly events every single year. You can click on the link below to chat with one of our team members if you want a free pass to our VIP program to support your community with our smartsocial.com resources. And if you're a district leader who has a success story, we would love to feature you on a future episode. You can click the links below to reach out. Thanks so much for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Have a great day.